Hello, welcome back to the Spider's Web, and in this video we're going to be finishing off my lookalike here, the Fatty. As you can see, he's all nicely greened up. Got his brown overalls on, his black boots, his white vest. So what we need to do with this is just highlight his skin tone and well, basically just highlight everything. So what we're going to be using for the highlights is Nurgling Green, which is this colour. Oops. This is quite a pale green colour, as you may have seen before. I know I've used it before. And we're going to be using this quite watered down over the muscle areas. In fact, it's not quite as watery as I'd hoped. So I'm just going to wipe off what I've already done. And this, give it a bit of a dry, and then try once more. And again. We're using this, as I say, very dilute. And what we can do with this, once it has actually dried, we could actually go over and give it one more wash with the green if we think it might help in the Keelia green shade or whatever it may be called. But as I say, for now we're just adding the highlight colour. And then we'll see how it looks once it's dried. Because with everything else, when it comes down to painting, you only tend to notice what it's like once the paint has dried rather than as it's going on. And we're not looking for any really big changes in colour for this. We could have used a darker green at first and then gone into this one, but or mix this one in with a darker green. In fact, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to change brushes to one which has a much finer point on it, and again a little bit of water on the brush, and then we can add the detail to the head and the face. As you can see, it's going on like a wash, which is what I want. Very, very, very pale colour. We will be adding a brighter highlight to this in certain parts when this has dried and we've got the shading we want from this. We'll definitely be needing some bright colouring along some part of his face, although saying that we will be adding blood around the mouth, so we may not be touching the mouth with any of the what's the word I'm looking for? The brighter highlights. But let's put some on first and then we can decide which ones we're going to be covering up later on. And now we've got that bit on, we can now go along and add some more of this colour to the previous pass that we've done, which means that we're going to be building up this colour don't be going over to the very edge, as you won't get the proper graduation or gradation. You will see. There we go. And we can do this as much or as little as we want. I have missed some here, but I can always go back and add more. Yeah. And now on top of his head. Remember, we are just using Nurgle green. We're not using what used to be rotting flesh. Is it Nurgle green? I think it is. Yes, it is Nurgle green. I was looking at the wrong paint colour there. And there we are. As you can see, we're building up actually I don't think we'll be doing too much more to this. There's just a little bit on his head that we just need to do, and a little bit more on his his shoulders and top of his arm there, and a little bit on his back. And we have him done. We can, as I say, add more to the more raised areas, like underneath the eye socket, the nose and his top lip. We don't need to do anything more down here, to be honest, because we have blood that's going to be added very soon. But that is enough for the flesh tone. Next, what we're going to be using is some white scar, which surprisingly is a white colour. And we're going to be adding that to our wet palette. We don't want a great deal because this is just for the t-shirts more than anything else. And it's just going to be watered down quite well, and then back to that fine pointed brush. And for this we'll be going over shoulder straps. Now we're not going everywhere with this because we don't want it to look pure white, because let's face it, if you look closely at this you know he's a mechanic of some description. So he's going to be full of oil. So we don't want a pure white t-shirt. I have been asked as well by one of the subscribers whether if I could show photographs. I will be adding a slideshow video once all the base game ones are done. Just to show how they all look. I'm just going to do a few little bits here and there of the white now, just to make it look like a white t-shirt. Let's see, just pick out a few parts where you can see some what's the word I'm looking for? Oops. Laddie's hairs seem to get everywhere at the moment. And now at the front I need some more of the white on the palette. Didn't quite get enough. And here we're going to be just concentrating, as I said, on the raised areas. Just to show that the t-shirt or the vest is actually white. not going to be going too detailed with it, as I've already said. I want to make it look a little grubby. And that should be fine. I think I am going to be putting a bit of a wash on this of Null Oil just to make it look, as I say, a little oily, a little dirty. I'm just going to do a few little lines up here where it's creased into the what's what I'm looking for? Into the oh dear God, overalls. That's gone a little bit brighter than I was wanting, so we'll just get some water on our brush and there we are. Okay, as I say, we're going to be putting another wash on that of Null Oil, so that's not an issue. Okay, so next we had on this one, was it Rhinoxide? Which is a dark brown colour, like so. And we get an amount of that on our brush, and go with water, and then we'll just take some of the white in there as well, just to lighten it quite a bit, and then oops, so I think I might take the Rhinoxide into the white that we've already used. There we are. I'm just picking out where I want the highlights to go, and you can see we want them to go at the top edges and along the tops of the creases. Like so. There's a lot of creases on this. It's going to take some time to do, as you can imagine, but once it's done it's going to look all the better for having all the little highlights on there. And even add some to the ones that you know aren't going to be in direct light, just so that you've got that little bit of difference and it stands out, as you can see. Just like so. And again, you don't really need to go into any big fuss about this. These are gaming figures, they're not display figures. You know, all you're doing these for is just to make the game look better when it's on the table. You don't really want them to a display level, because you'd be scared of anybody touching them to play the game. Oh yeah. Right, laddie's just heard somebody outside again. And that is that for the overalls. And now what we're going to be using is a mix of that brown that we've used already with a spot of Abaddon black for the boots. In fact, I haven't done the, just realised I haven't done the gloves, so I better go back and get the gloves done. And here we are. I'm going to try to get the top we're going to say is one done, and now the next one. Just a little bit of water to it as it's not moving terribly well. There we are. And again, we don't need to go mad with that area because there will probably be blood on the gloves as well. Now, as I was saying, we want some Abaddon black, when I can find it, in with that brown. I'm going to make a greyish colour, so that's the Abaddon black, and yeah, I'll just add some of the Abaddon black in with the brownish colour that we've used. And that will go over the tips of his shoes, just like so, and the little respirator thing for his mask, and I'll also do the strap for the mask as well in this. Just so that it stands out a little bit more from the t-shirt and the skin. There we are. And now, so we'll get the null oil wash done when I can find null oil. There we are. So this is going over the t-shirts just to dirty it up a bit more. Still be able to see the highlights, but the parts where we haven't done the highlights is going to be a little bit darker, and where we have done the highlights is going to be obviously just that little bit brighter, and you will see the difference. And I'm not really all that bothered if I go over any of the skin, because it's just going to add a little touch more shadow to the skin areas. Right, so there we are. And that's the wash. And now what we'll do, just to kind of like finish off the look, and before we get the whatchamacallit on here, before we get the blood effects on, which we can't do yet until the t-shirt has dried, we'll paint, give the base a coat of black. It's just a rough coat, we're not looking for anything special because we still have our pumice to go on. It's just basically, it's just a blocking a bit of colour. That's all we're doing for the base for the time being. There we go, and that is our fatty almost completed. When we come back to this, we'll be adding, as I say, the blood effects to the clothing. I will have done the base properly by then, but so because we've done the wash on the t-shirt, which As you can see, he's making it look really grubby and horrible. Just what you want. But until that's dried properly, we can't really do anything more, because we really need that to be dry. So, in fact, looking at it, it's not. There's not much there that is wet enough to stop us. So let's get it done. What we need now is blood for the blood god, which is this colour. So the technical paint from Citadel. We've used it before. Other things. Depending on how you feel on each particular model, you can do as much or as little as you want. So I'm just going to slam a load in his mouth, dribble it down here, and some in his hands, and then you don't actually have to put any of this on, but I do quite like it, so I try to put a bit on each of the zombies, because it finishes it off, doesn't it? Alright. Something I have just realised I've not done, which I should have done. So we haven't finished yet. He has a tool bag. So first of all, I'm going to do his tool bag in the grey colour that we used for the highlights for the boots. There we go. That's that done. I'm just going to use a little bit of white on it as well, just to go around the top edges of like so, and then a little bit of, not that one, where are we, iron breaker, which is this one, what used to be gunmetal, bulk gunmetal. A little bit of that straight from the pots, and I mean a little bit of it. I will just go like that across the tools, just to make it look as though there's metal there. There we are. That's our zombie almost finished. All we need to do now is just add the pumice to the bottom, or to the base rather, and then no, sorry, it's all right, I'm not quite done yet. One little thing I always do with the zombies, and that is non-oil wash in the eye sockets, and that gives them that sunken eyed look. There you go. And that now is the fatty. Oh, that is the fatty finished, and I hope you've enjoyed the video. So just one zombie to go for the base set, which is the Abomination. But I think when we come back to paint these, I'm going to be continuing with our chosen character. And just in case you've forgotten who it is, it's Ned. So we're going to be doing Ned and his Zombiver. But until then, as always, from me and my little lookalike here, Take care, God bless, and bye for now.